Good evening and a very warm welcome. This is an India Today special broadcast this Sunday. I'm Rahul Kamal. We've spent the last 24 hours doing a deep dive into the Access My India Today Karnataka exit poll. And over the next 2 hours, I will give you some very sharp insights into the way Karnataka voted yesterday. Right ahead of counting day, very important to understand what happened on the ground and why. What I'll do right at the start of this broadcast is give you a pictorial representation of what the new Karnataka state could look like in terms of which party is picking up seats from which area in the state. So what we've done, and remember, the Access My India team goes to every single constituency, which is why we're the only channel that's actually able to put up a map of this nature. Can we just zoom in to the map of Karnataka, the new political map of Karnataka? And this is very important and interesting because what this suggests is that the BJP is largely picking up seats only in coastal Karnataka. So if you see right at the bottom of the screen, there's coastal Karnataka, and then right at the top, that's where the BJP is picking up the seats from. Those are the seats that are marked in orange. Let's now come to the Congress party. Marked out on that map in blue, the Congress is picking up a lot of seats in the Hyderabad Karnataka region, the region that adjoins Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, picking up 33 of the 40 seats in that region. Let me now come to the Janata Dal Secular. If you look out on that map now for the green seats, all of them concentrated very strongly in the old Mysore region. But even then, when you look around the area of old Mysore, you see that there's a lot of blue there as well, which means that honors are split between the Congress and the JDS. Now, just come in close to that map as much as you can. We'll talk about it a bit more. The seats that are marked in grey are the tough fights, which essentially means that because we had a sample of say about 200 to 300 in every seat, that's where the margin of victory between the number one party and the number two party is less than about 2%. So that's what Pradeep Gupta and his team called the tough fight seats. They are marked on that map in red. So you can see it's not as if a lot of the tough fights are happening in only one pocket. They're spread across the state, but largely in central Karnataka you see a lot of tough fights, not so many tough fights in the south. You also see tough fights, some of them up in the north in Hyderabad, Karnataka, but equally tough fights in the Karnataka Bombay region, the Bombay Karnataka region. So that's really where the tough fights in this election happen. The moment you put it out on a map like that, changes the perspective of what you've been able to pick up from the exit polls so far. That's a breakup of the map of Karnataka and what it could look like on counting day. Remember, we've gone to every single seat, so we're able to plot that down on a map for you. Let's now show you a regional breakup of how Karnataka voted. I'll go across first to Bengaluru. We'll start from Bengaluru. Remember, there was voting in 26 seats. 2 seats, the voting has been delayed. Here, the Congress is expected to bag 15 of those seats, 2 more than the last time. The BJP 10, 2 less than the last time. This is interesting because net we've seen in urban areas post 2014 the Congress being beaten badly by the BJP. Karnataka could be different. Overall urban vote share, Congress gets 41% of the vote. The BJP gets 37% of the vote. In Bengaluru, a metropolitan city, the Congress leading against the BJP. Let's now come to central Karnataka. Central Karnataka is a relatively smaller pocket of Karnataka in terms of seats. There are 23 seats here. Here the BJP enjoys a big lead, which is different from the last time because there are 11 additional seats that the BJP could be picking up. Last time, a lot of the seats here were not won by the BJP because of the damage done by the KJP, Yadurappa's party, and the BSR Congress. From central Karnataka, let's move across to Hyderabad, Karnataka, on the northeast part of the state. In Hyderabad, Karnataka, of the 40 seats, the Congress is winning 33. Now, this is where Pradeep Gupta's mettle will really be tested, because if the Congress wins these 33 seats in Hyderabad, Karnataka and leads over the BJP with the kind of convincing majority that Pradeep and Access is resting, that would be a big advantage to the Congress. The BJP, though, made a lot of effort in Hyderabad, Karnataka. They're hoping they'll do much better. We'll find out on Tuesday whether Pradeep's right. Let's now come to coastal Karnataka. This is where the BJP played up the issue of communal killings. They alleged that 24 RSS BJP activists were killed and that the Siddaramaiah government looked the other way. Here, as voting was split along communal lines very sharply, the BJP picking up 13 seats, the Congress 6. There's a trend here. Usually one party does well in one election, by the next election the trend gets reversed. The BJP is adding 10 seats to its tally in Hyderabad, in coastal Karnataka, over what they had here last time. Let me now finally come to Mumbai, Karnataka. Now, Mumbai, Karnataka is in the northwest part of the state, adjoining Maharashtra. Here, the BJP dominating in style. This is where the Congress had done well in the 2013 assembly elections. This time, though, the BJP leading in 30 seats, the Congress leading only on 18. That's a big lead there for the BJP. Finally, there is the Old Mysore belt. In Old Mysore, this is a huge, big area of Karnataka. 64 seats up for grabs here. This is traditional fight between the Congress and the Janata Dal Secular. Here, the BJP isn't as much of a force, and that shows on the numbers as well. The Janata Dal Secular picking up 20 seats. That's 3 seats down from the last time. The Congress picking up 30. That's 3 seats up from the last time. The BJP also making some inroads into Hyderabad, Karnataka. A very interesting breakup of how Karnataka voted across the different regions. I want to go across now to our election studio. We've got our very, very sharp, incisive political minds there. Let's understand these numbers from them. To our guests who are joining us on this special broadcast this Sunday evening. No weekend for them either. Just as well, Pradeep Gupta. All his friends in the BJP not very happy with his numbers. People in the Congress, of course, delighted with him. Welcome, Pradeep Gupta. He's got a sterling track record. Will that continue? That's really what we need to see. T.S. Sudhir is with us. Also with us, R.K. Upadhyay. Manisha Priyam is with us as well. Thank you very much. To my left, I want to introduce Dr. Sandeep Shastri. We've also got Veer Raghav and finally Harish Bijur. I want to go to Pradeep Gupta and talk about the 36. There's a big hailstorm in Delhi at this time. There's a thunderstorm that is supposed to hit Karnataka. I don't know about Karnataka, but it's hit Delhi for certain. So the IMD got it right. Maybe they didn't necessarily get the state right. Hopefully our poll will be slightly more accurate than the IMD prediction. Pradeep Gupta, these 36 seats, the tough fights. Which regions are they coming from, and what can you tell us about the importance of these 36 seats?
These 36 are sitting on margin of 2%. When I say 2% margin in terms of number of votes, it's to 1,000 to 3,000 votes. And these, out of these 38 seats, largely in Bombay, Karnataka, which is about 10 to 12 seats sitting in Bombay, Karnataka, in spite BJP already doing good in Bombay, Karnataka, meaning the real fight lies there in Bombay, Karnataka.
Also, in the 38 seats that you've classified as being tight fights, how do you break it up? Because if the victory margin is less than 2%, frankly, as a pollster, you have no idea who's going to win.
Yes, I mean 2% you can't predict who is going to win, and we do analysis of each and every seat, and we try and do that, and we really predict the vote percentage for all the parties. And in the process, we found that there are 38 seats sitting with the margin of 2%, which is 1,000 to 3,000 votes.
Sandeep Shastri, these 38 odd seats and their significance in determining the verdict come Tuesday. A lot of these seats in Bombay, Karnataka, because Pradeep Gupta's data suggests that the BJP is doing well there. If some of these seats switch over to the Congress, then the BJP's margin of victory could be hemmed in further.
If these marginal seats are largely in the Mumbai-Karnataka region, this implies, as you said, the principal players in the contest are the Congress and the BJP. And the BJP is hoping to do exceedingly well in the Mumbai-Karnataka region. And if the BJP were to win those marginal seats, I think they would clearly be at an advantage. And on the other hand, if the Congress were to do well in the marginal seats, given the poll predictions that has been made on this channel, it could well lead the Congress party towards a majority, because Mumbai, Karnataka, as per our present analysis, is being shown as more being in favor of the BJP than the Congress.
Now,
but if the Congress does better in the marginal seats, I think it changes the picture.
Now, the fact is, if you're a viewer, and we're quite confident about Access My India's exit polls based on their formidable track record, but T.S. Sudhir, for most viewers watching this broadcast, it's really a dog's breakfast. They have no idea. There's one channel that ran one poll which said the Congress is winning, one poll which said the BJP is winning, and that different channel that are saying completely the opposite things. Usually, polls pick up a trend. They may not get the margin right, they pick up a trend. This time, even directionally, they're picking up different things.
Absolutely. In the exit poll supermarket, it's like everyone can pick and choose whichever exit poll that they like to follow. But yes, I think this is also indicative of the very tight contest that we saw in Karnataka. If you were on the ground, if you were traveling across different regions of Karnataka, you would have got a sense that not only was it as a mirror cracked, but also that different regions were talking about different issues, and it was a very tight contest in many constituencies. So in that sense, the exit polls, given the fact that none of them have really picked up a direction in which this election has people have voted, probably is also indicative of the fact that it is a tight contest, and the 38 odd seats that Pradeep Gupta is talking about actually could really hold the key to what happens.
You've travelled across Karnataka, you've also seen multiple exit polls. What happens on most occasions is that they directionally signal to the viewer who's winning. Now, whether you can pick up the margin of victory or not, can be discussed. This time, even directionally, polls are suggesting different things. Why do you think that's happening?
No, directionally, polls are suggesting different things. The one thing that I saw across the polls directionally, conquering quite a bit, is the far lower performance of the JDS. Now, those seats have been for the Congress to take, the BJP also doing somewhat better than they have ever performed in the old Mysore region. But the one thing that's coming out of the polls is the JDS hasn't done as well as it had.
So let's put that map back on the screen, please. Because in that map as well, it's very illustrative to note, Veera Raghav, that in the 64 odd seats of old Mysore, honours are split. This is Vokaliga territory, Janata Dal secular bastion. Despite that, you have a lot of blue there as well. It's not as if the JDS has been able to do spectacularly well in old Mysore.
Old Mysore has never been a complete clean sweep for the JDS. It has been split between the Congress and JDS, so don't be surprised to see those blue dots there. You will see blue and green there. But the fact is this, that except in the Mandya heartland, where the Vokaligas are numerically more than all the other castes put together, and I'm talking only of Mandya district, where let's say an Ambarish from the Congress refused to contest, or where an SM Krishna is from. You leave that aside. In the rest of the old Mysore region, the JDS needs Vokaliga plus other votes to win a seat, even a single seat. Now the problem for the JDS has been that there's been a furious Vokaliga consolidation, but there has been an alternate consolidation in favor of the Congress. Hang on. But when you also see that map, and I want to point out to Pradeep as well, when you say Mumbai, Karnataka, the seats are close, please remember that traditionally Mumbai, Karnataka, the seats have been close between the Congress and the BJP. That is because that is the region where the BJP has built itself over the last 10 years. The Congress has, as I pointed out, 47 Lingayat candidates in 2013. It has only fielded 49 Lingayat candidates. It's not as if the Congress did not have a presence amongst the Lingayats, but the BJP had a marginally greater presence and had the image of being a Lingayat party. So this closeness, will not mean anything else, except for the fact that if this closeness is seen as going in favor of the Congress, and the BJP, remember 2004, won 36 seats in Mumbai, Karnataka, won 26 in 2008. Sorry, 36 in 2008 and 26 in 2004. If the BJP cannot cross 30 mark in Mumbai, Karnataka, their hopes in Karnataka are finished.
Let me add one more point to this. Why Bombay, Karnataka is witnessing the close fight. There is a large number of Marathi Kshatriyas. Lingayat are consolidating towards the BJP, but Marathi Kshatri this time is splitted between BJP and Congress as well, and that is where the real fight lies.
Okay, I want to introduce our political guest also joining us on this panel. Bengaluru boy Amit Malviya, IT czar of the Bharatiya Janata Party, squaring off against him. Rohan Gupta increasingly started off with the social media team of the Congress. Amit Malviya, you can of course say that the India Today, Access My India, and usually everyone in the BJP loves Access My India because he usually gets it right towards the BJP. This time he's saying the opposite, so clearly Pradeep Gupta not a very popular man in your circles this evening. Okay, give me a moment.
They are the only outliers who are predicting.
Yeah, go on, Amit.
So it's all right. I mean, they seem to be the only outlier who think that the Congress is going to be ahead in this contest. We will wait for the 15th and we will know whether they've got it right or wrong. There's nothing that we are going to hold against them. But as far as the election is concerned, as far as what we've seen on the ground, because I personally spent a lot of time there and we've had a very expansive campaign that was rolled out in the state of Karnataka. We do have a sense of what was happening on the ground, how possibly people have voted, what were the issues that were on people's mind, and therefore we believe and confident enough of it that we will go past the halfway mark. In fact, we're looking at 130 and more as far as the election is concerned. Also, Rahul, I'm not surprised that most pollsters have not been able to get even the direction right, except for the fact that every one of them have indicated that the BJP is gaining handsomely over their performance in 2013 and that the Congress fortunes, like the rest of the country, are dipping in Karnataka as well. And that, I think, is the important consistent narrative that is emerging out of the various exit polls that have been put out. But, you know, I can only say that against the conventional wisdom, the Bharatiya Janata Party is making strong gains in the Hyderabad-Karnataka region, which was earlier supposed to be a Congress stronghold. We are also seeing a lot of traction in the old Mysore region, particularly the urban districts of the old Mysore region, Mysore, Tumkur, Chamrajnagar and others. And similarly, the Gulbarga, Raichur, Yadgiri area is also swinging towards the BJP. The Congress's gamble of trying to wean away the Lingayat community from the BJP hasn't worked. In fact, it has backfired. And
Rohan Gupta of the Congress,
very clear consolidation in favor of the party.
You know, the fact is, if you actually look at all the opinion polls, while Pradeep is the one who's projecting that the Congress may end up crossing the majority mark or come very close to it, a majority of the opinion polls actually, exit polls actually suggesting that the BJP could end up in front. So, is the Congress celebrating just yet or wanting to wait till the 15th?
Rahul, the way even I was there for 20 days in these elections, and I have seen that ground level issues in Karnataka are totally different than what is there in national media. You know, there people are very, very centric towards local issues. They are bothered about what this government has done for them. And the way Siddaramaiah government's benefits has reached people, I am sure that Congress is going to get clear-cut majority. And now Mr. Amit Malviya he was happy or complacent by saying that we are gaining our tally. Let me remind him, in 2014, where your star campaigner was Mr. Modi, like these elections, you won 132 assembly seats. And if you see all the polls, your number is going much down. So compared to Lok Sabha election performance in 2014, if you are going down drastically, that means that the Modi magic on which you try to survive, that's going to die. And that I think Karnataka will be the first state to demonstrate that, because the way our Prime Minister has campaigned there, the way he has given speeches and all, people haven't liked it. That is what my perception is. I am sure Congress is going to have clear-cut majority without any kind of support being required from outside.
What I want to do now is bring out for you how the different communities of Karnataka voted on the strongholds of those communities. So I'll start with the Lingayat vote and I'll get R.K. Upadhyay to talk about it. Remember, there are about 76 seats which are considered Lingayat strongholds. So what we're going to do is compare on these 76 seats the performance of various parties vis-a-vis how they did in the last election. So remember, last time a lot of the Lingayat vote was split because Yedurappa wasn't in the BJP. Last time the Congress in these 76 seats picked up 48. This time their tally expected to crash 15 seats on those Lingayat seats. They're expected to pick up 33. Let's now come to Muslim seats. Of the 13 seats which are classified as seats where Muslims dominate and can decide who wins, last time the Congress had 8 seats. This time its tally is going up to 11. So they're picking up 3 additional seats. in the Muslim areas. Let's now look at the scheduled caste, the Dalit seats. Of these 30 seats, the Congress had 20 in the last elections. This time, they are expected to pick up 19. So virtually holding on to whatever gains they had in the Dalit territory. Let's now look at the 8 tribal seats here. The Congress had 3 seats in the last elections. That's now expected to go up, interestingly, to all 8. That's very, very important and very interesting, that finding here. Let's now look at the Vokaliga dominated seats. This is mostly in the old Mysore region. Vokaliga community traditionally supporters of the Janata Dal Secular. The Congress had 20 seats. They've held on to those 20 seats. Let's now look at the Bharatiya Janata Party and the performance of the BJP across different stronghold areas. I'll start again with the Lingayat seats. Last time, and this is interesting, the Congress had only 8, the BJP had only 18 of the Lingayat seats. That's because Yedurappa was fighting separately. They've more than doubled that to 40 seats in the 2018 exit poll. Let's now look at the Muslim dominated seats. They had 2 the last time. Remember, it's not as if the Muslims are voting for them, which essentially means that even though the Muslims may have voted another way because everybody else consolidated, they picked up 2 seats in the last election. This time, that's down to 1. After this, let's now look at the Dalit seats. In the 30 Dalit seats, the BJP has jumped up from 5 to 11. So it isn't as if the Dalits have totally discarded the BJP. To some extent, they have picked up Dalit votes, but maybe not to the extent that Amit Shah would have liked. Of the 8 tribal seats, the BJP earlier had 4. This time, they have 0. That's quite significant. Vokaliga seats, they had 8 the last time. They've made some additional inroads into old Mysore. This time, they've got 13 seats. Finally, let me look at the Janata Dal Secular. And remember, the Janata Dal Secular is really a one bastion, one community party. In the Lingayat seats, they had 9 last time, this time down to 3. The 3 seats they pick up is usually from candidates who are strong in that area, who may have been denied tickets by the BJP or the Congress. That's the typical JDS candidate in the non-Vokaliga area, somebody who's a turncoat from one of the parties. In the Muslim areas, there are 3 seats, that's down to 1 this time. In the Dalit seats, earlier they had 5, this time down to 0. So losing substantial ground outside of old Mysore. In tribal areas, they had no seats, they don't have any. Now, the next one is interesting because in the Vokaliga areas, you will see the Janata Dal Secular has largely held on to its performance. They had 21 seats the last time, this time they have 20. So it's not as if the Vokaligas have left the JDS and gone off another way. They still largely hold firm. It's the incremental vote which the JDS has not been able to get. Manisha Priyam, I'll start with you. In the data that I've just played out, explain why do you think the BJP is doing badly in the tribal seats?
No, the tribal seats is a surprise even for the BJP. Even as we were on the television yesterday, they were installing a statue of Birsa Munda in Nagpur. And everybody was calling me saying Chota Nagpur is now Bada Nagpur. And I've seen ever since the 2012 elections in Gujarat, they've had a Birsa Munda Bhavan in Gujarat. Mr. Narendra Modi has campaigned extensively in the Chota Nagpur region, where he's remembered Kariya Munda, where he's remembered the Urao movement and the Ulgulans, and he's carried all this forward into Nagpur. In this area also, there has been a campaign from the BJP to have a scheduled caste, a scheduled tribe vote bank in favor of the BJP, the Adi Vasi, so to say, and have it with a certain Hindu smattering and a Hindu tilt. B. Sriramulu would have been the face of that. In the last leg of the campaign, even in Karnataka, Mr. Amit Shah is known to have taken Mr. Sriramulu around at least in 80 seats saying, please give this scheduled tribe a vote. We will have a scheduled tribe face as the first Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. So for the BJP, this would be a setback, not just for Karnataka, but for the All India.
Does your data show,
that Narendra Modi
Pradeep Gupta, and I don't want to get too excited just yet, that the Reddys haven't been as important and as significant in turning their popularity, their money, their influence into seats? Because in a lot of the areas where the BJP isn't doing well, you're saying the Congress is doing well, a lot of that, Devangiri, Chikmagalur, also in Bellary, those are Reddy seats.
No, Devangiri and Chikmagalur, the BJP is doing good, but not in Bellary.
In Bellary, you think they're not doing well?
They are not doing good.
Chikmagalur is not part of the Reddy.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm correcting Rahul. Bellary BJP is not doing good. That is where the worrisome part for them. And in fact, we tried and asked many times. In fact, the difference is also not that you can classify them in a tough
Why
fight
do you
situation.
think the Reddys are not doing well in
I
Bellary?
think people seems to be not angry, but having certain amount of discontent against Reddy
R.K.
brothers.
Upadhyay, do you think that's even possible? Because A, he has to get his numbers right. B, he's giving a very big headline for anybody who tracks Karnataka politics that the Reddy brothers are being bested in the Bellary bastion. What do you make of this?
Rahul, I've been talking to my friends and colleagues in Bangalore since morning, and I have picked up some very interesting data which I would like to present, and you have to give me 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. I have figures for each and every district of the voting that has happened. There has been a 4% drop in voting compared to last time. From 71.45%, it's come to 67%. 4% drop in the 3 point something drop in the voting. Okay. When you go district-wise, in Mumbai, Karnataka, many of the districts have voted less than what they had done last time. Look at Belgaum. They had 74.67%, is gone down to 71%. Okay. Bagalkot, 72.94 to 68%. Bijapur, 66.43 to 63%. This is the Mumbai, Karnataka. And Hyderabad, Karnataka, where Congress had done very well last time, even there, in every district, the voting percentage has gone down. I'll tell you a few important ones. Gulbarga, 63.75% to 56%. Drastic drop. And then you have Bidar, 66% to 59%. Raichur, 64% to 61%. What all this says is, see, overall, in the Mumbai, Karnataka region, there has been a 4% drop from 72% to 68%. And then in Hyderabad, Karnataka...
What's the point you're making?
The point I'm making is, how is it going to affect both BJP and Congress? Because this is the area where both of them are fighting. And JDS is not in the picture at all. Because JDS got its 34 out of 40 seats from only southern Karnataka. They got only 6 from the others. So the fight is between BJP and Congress, in these areas. But when we look at the southern Karnataka, voting percentage has gone up, and which is going to benefit the JDS. We can't just rule out JDS.
It can work either way, sir.
Huh?
It can work either way. You see, when voting percentages drop in Mumbai, Karnataka, it can actually be detrimental
see,
for BJP.
Bangalore rural. So Bangalore rural, it has gone up from 57% to 76%, where you have 70 to 80% Vakaligas. There is another Mysore.
They only lead up to the margin of victories being more.
Let's also remember Bangalore rural is the area where you have strong Congress presence also among the
Yes.
local communities.
So there is no
I
doubt.
don't think there is
no doubt about that.
There is no empirical evidence to prove that either higher voter turnout or lower
No,
voter turnout.
the point I'm making is, see, we are all giving 23, 25 seats to JDS. I'm sure they're going to do much better than that.
Okay, so... Welcome back. You're watching an India Today special broadcast. We're doing a deep dive into the Access My India Today exit poll findings for Karnataka. I now want to compare how different age categories have voted in the state of Karnataka. And this is interesting because the BJP thought that the Prime Minister was making serious inroads into the youth vote bank. And to an extent, that is validated by the findings because net for the whole state, the gap between the BJP and the Congress is a 4% gap. Amongst the youth, there's only a 1% gap. And that changes as you move up the age category. For example, if you look at the voters between 36 and 50, the Congress has a 4% gap with the BJP, which is in really keeping with what's been seen across the state. Finally, if you look at the category above 60 years, here it's the BJP that leads. So for some reason, and maybe Pradeep Gupta can explain why, that's the only age category where BJP has got more votes than the Congress. Pradeep, why is that the case?
I think it's only 1% difference between Congress and BJP. And also, you have to see the total contribution of this age group to the voting percentage is between 6 to 10%, which is hardly anything, Total 6 to 10% in total electoral, the 60 plus age.
Okay, I want to show one more interesting finding. This is to do with men and women voters. Usually, ordinarily speaking, men tend to vote more than women in most Indian elections. And in this instance, what you're seeing is there are more women that have voted for the Congress than men, possibly indicating that all the welfare schemes, the Bhagya schemes that were run by Siddaramaiah had a positive impact. In the BJP's vote share, women are voting 2% less than the men. In the Congress's vote share, you've actually got more women voting for the Congress than men. Harish Biju, which means all those welfare schemes, you know, Pradeep Gupta calls this kitchen appeasement. Appeasement may be the wrong word, but you know, this kitchen politics, yeah, he's getting the benefit of that.
Yeah, I think this is the reality, because you know there were three segments which were to be brought out to vote, and both the parties focused on them. One was the youth, you know, talking about young people who are very enthused about the new economy and everything we call new politics. The second was women. And women were actually being focused upon by both the parties, but I think the Congress tended to focus a little more, because the language was, come out and say thank you for all the things that have happened to you. Literally that, because at the grassroots level, people were being asked to actually come out with the entire family and vote. And the third was the educated group, which actually the BJP wanted to come out in larger numbers and vote. Because each one of these are pockets, and each of these pockets are very, very important to focus upon. However, I think, you know, simultaneously, when I'm looking at the numbers, I'm still feeling that we are underestimating the actual power of consolidation between the old KJP and, of course, the BJP and, of course, the BSR Congress. Because if I look at the numbers in 2013, these three parties cobbled together 50 seats with a 35.2% vote share. And if I total it together, you know, 1 + 1 + 1 is not 3, but it could be 5. So I'm really wondering whether we are underestimating the power of consolidation.
You know, one other very interesting finding in this data is the income-wise vote share. You know, can I just try and get one of the cameras to zoom in, please? If we can get one of the cameras to zoom in, I want to show this on the sheet that's been put together. The Congress's vote share. This is very, very interesting. Which camera is going to zoom in? Okay, that camera is zooming in. So if you look at the Congress's vote share amongst people who are less than 5,000 rupees, amongst the BPL category, zoom in further please. 40% vote share amongst those who are less than 5,000 rupees a month. You come to those who are between 6 and 10,000, it's 35. Come to those between 11 and 20,000, it's 33. Come to those who are above 31,000, it's down to 20, less than half. Which basically means more poor people have voted for the Congress than the BJP, and the number of rich who voted for the Congress is half that of the number of poor. This, to my mind, is the most significant finding of this Axis My India exit poll. Let's now come to the BJP. Amongst those who are the BPL category, zoom in as much as we can, please. 34% is the number of people who voted for the BJP amongst the poorest of the poor. 6 to 10,000, it goes up to 38. 11 to 20,000, it goes up to 41. If you come to those who earn more than 31,000 rupees a month, it is as much as 54. So more than half the rich voters of the state of Karnataka voted for the BJP, while 40% of the poorest of the poor voted for the Congress. Now this, Sandeep Shastri, is a very, very, very significant takeaway from this Axis My India data.
Undoubtedly, and we have been stressing this point since yesterday, that if the Congress has a greater traction among those who are not very well off, it's simply because of the fact that these are segments of the society which increasingly depend on the state for their survival and their well-being. And by implication, this would mean that the various Bhagya schemes or the kitchen politics schemes which are being spoken of have had an impact in garnering support.
So ordinarily, Manisha Priyam, there is a divide between the rich and the poor, but this is huge, more than double. The Congress's vote share halving as you come down the income pyramid. The BJP's vote share more than doubling as you go.
It's consistently been the case.
This 40% figure is actually very representative, because most surveys around the world, when they begin to look at the poor, actually exclude more than they include. So the 40% figure could be significantly higher than what it is. Now the second thing that this does tell you is that the problem of identification, which has bogged down pro-poor implementation of schemes in most other states, including in the state of Delhi, the massive changes that happened between Sheila Dikshit and Arvind Kejriwal was largely because of the exclusion of the poor. When I was just a minute, when I was in the Gulbarga region, I would find that outside the block and the district offices, very few poor people would complain about the lack of identification and documents. Therefore, it was very clear to me that the Aadhaar was not being used as a method for administering the poor schemes. So, in a sense, the lower anti-incumbency is also because the poor decided to hedge their bets along with the Congress, and that's significantly different.
But please understand that this could also represent the fact that the Congress's social coalition is of castes which actually form from an economically weaker section of the society.
How does the social coalition build?
I'm just trying to say that you cannot categorically say that the rich support the BJP and the poor support the Congress.
I'm not saying it. Just explaining the data.
I'm saying that when this data, we do realize this part, but the fact, and this is not Congress. Please remember, you have to draw the distinction between Siddaramaiah as a personality and the Congress as a party. Siddaramaiah as a populist personality who's running the Ahinda card will obviously be expected to have a greater reach amongst the poor. Narendra Modi, who's Prime Minister, who has achieved this one of the Lingayat consolidation for the BJP, was expected to have
but there is there's something for the BJP to think about, because Prime Minister Modi and President Amit Shah are trying very hard to reconfigure the DNA of the BJP to make it a more inclusive party, not just a party of the rich, but also a party of the OBCs and the poor. Amit Malviya, the data picked up by Pradeep Gupta suggests in Karnataka especially, the rich have voted for the BJP, the poor have not. And the income pyramid graphic is a very, very stark divide which tells a very strong story.
Rahul, I don't find myself agreeing with this assessment, and I will tell you why. If you look at the number of farmer deaths that have happened in Karnataka and the associated deep agrarian crisis that has been around for over 2 years now, is somewhere going to reflect on Siddaramaiah government's performance. Your data obviously does not capture it because those farmers also come from the poor segments of the society. Now, there was a program that your own channel ran where the Annabhagya scheme, which was touted by the Chief Minister as his flagship program, it was very clear that the PDS wasn't doing a great job, and the kind of food that was supplied under the PDS program or the Annabhagya program, although it was subsidized by the central government to the extent of 29%, 29 rupees out of 32, for which Siddaramaiah was claiming credit, was also not up to mark. Now, whether you look at the number of deaths that were happening of the infants in Mysuru district, where the Chief Minister comes from, or the number of children who are malnourished, again from Mysuru district where the Chief Minister comes from, presents a very different story of what the reality of the poor people in the state is. And therefore, I have reasons to believe that while these numbers have been put out, they don't really reflect the true picture. Another statistics, Ujjwala scheme has been given to 9 lakh women in the state of Karnataka. They know very well that this is a central government program. That again is not reflecting in your data. They are people from the poor families, they are people who come from the minorities, SC, ST and OBC community largely. And therefore there are several such indicators which I can point out, which indicate to the fact that the Siddaramaiah government, even though it was claiming to have run these several social programs, wasn't really doing a good job of reaching it to the people effectively.
Counter-argue to say, Amit Malviya, that it is also equally likely that the Siddaramaiah government, like all smart chief ministers, took the money that Modi ji gave, that the centre gave, put his own branding and packaging on it and went to voters saying that this is mine. That's happened in other states. Raghav, that may have happened here as well. People won't know where the money is coming from.
I want to correct this thing.
Speaking of centrally sponsored schemes, the National Social Assistance Program, for example, is centrally sponsored program.
So why
comes to states as mentioned. Chawal Baba.
Across the country, when state assembly elections are held, when citizens
people
are
have
asked
acknowledged to receive Ujjwala gas Yojana, but there is only connection. What he has done is he has provided free gas cylinders. Free gas cylinder through Bhagyashree Yojana. There is an add-on.
URM in Gujarat. He turned it into a state government scheme, but it was a JN and URM funded project.
Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas punctured. Poor are clearly not voting. Corruption out of the bag. going to 2019 just in terms of the optics and in terms of the Nara that they would have, the All India planks. If the scheduled tribe votes also dwindle, I think the lessons of fine-tuning would be that
There's
much
one
more difficult in terms
there's
of
one
reaching
more
out to the North
interesting
Indian belts.
finding in the study. I just want to talk to you about it. In Uttar Pradesh, for example, everyone knows of the Ujjwala scheme. And when there was polling happening, a lot of voters said they benefited from the Ujjwala scheme. Pradeep Gupta's data for Karnataka suggests that voters remember the Bhagyashri Yojana, which is the free gas cylinder Yojana. So they don't necessarily know of Ujjwala, which gives you a subsidized scheme. They
No, Rahul, let me correct. Rahul, they acknowledge the delivery of Ujjwala gas Yojana of central government, but at the same time, they also acknowledge additionally the free gas cylinder which is being provided by Siddaramaiah government through Bhagyashri Yojana. So it's not that the central government scheme has not done it, the delivery, but there is an add-on value, value added.
But it's very simple. It's last mile.
Packaging.
It's last mile. You remember who gives it to you.
And also,
it may be coming from wherever, but you know the person who came and gave it to you, and that's where you ascribe the credit to.
Also, my team has seen the Siddaramaiah photo on the cylinders. Also, I have seen the Siddaramaiah photo on the water filter plant, which is made out of steel big tanker and which is for the filtering of the water. There also you can clearly see the
Danish Ali,
Siddaramaiah
this is interesting, but the good thing is, it's not as if only Siddaramaiah does it. All chief ministers who've been successful have done something similar. Smart marketing, and Modi ji is also a lot about smart marketing. 1 second, I want to go across to Danish Ali of the Janata Dal Secular. He's joining us on this broadcast. Danish bhai, it's a Sunday evening. The weather in Delhi is lovely. You don't look very chirpy. All exit polls suggesting that the JDS's vote share and seat share, not quite what it was in previous elections. Welcome.
No, Rahul, I told you earlier also, JDS has a consistent position on opinion making polls and exit polls. We are crystal clear about that. These opinion making polls are only sponsored polls to help the national parties. They always undermine the regional parties, number one. Number two, about the exit polls, we have an apprehension. And after these elections, we are going to reiterate our demand of exit polls because they can be sponsored to make people.
One second, I don't buy this theory at all.
If there is
this can possibly be said about opinion polls, and you can charge that, if the opinion poll is not scientifically done, it could be a plant by a political party, and there's some media that tends to do it. If the exit poll goes wrong, the only person who has a lot of egg on his face is Pradeep Gupta, and by association to some extent us. But if it goes right, then he gets the credit for it. So your theory, Danish Ali, is a completely bogus theory. You need to do a little better than that, because it's only till Tuesday. If he gets it wrong, that means that all these diaries and all these books that I've been reading all night were meaningless. I could just as well be watching Homeland.
You on your channel told in 2013 JDS is going to get 13 seats. In your opinion poll, the first opinion poll you had in 2013, you said 13 seats. And the last opinion poll, you said 17 seats. But when the results came out, it was 40.
Okay, the fact also is that there are multiple exit polls that have been done by Axis My India.
Prediction is for other parties, for the Congress and the BJP.
Okay, Danish Ali, here's a question coming from V. Raga. Why don't you tell us? You've got your own poll going. You tell us how many seats you think the Congress and the BJP are getting.
Like other parties, that if it suits them, they will agree. If doesn't suit them, then they will say, oh, there is some malfunctioning in EVMs. We have a consistent position. We want a ballot to be banned. We want opinion making polls to be banned. We want these exit polls also to be banned.
So you tell us.
You're not answering the question.
Okay, but this is an important point that's been made about electronic voting machines, and I want Rohan Gupta to commit first on behalf of the Congress that win or lose come Tuesday. I hope the Congress will not say that EVMs are fixed, because this whole bogey of trying to discredit the Indian electoral system is quite pathetic. If you win, then of course that's fine. If you lose, you can't say EVMs are fixed.
You're right.
See, I was hearing comments of Mr. Amit Malviya. If you see this survey, there are two important facts which we haven't discussed. the Bangalore region, which is purely urban region, it shows growth in number of seats for Congress. And the women voters, that also they are towards Congress party. The moral policing of BJP, it is not liked by Karnataka. I was there on ground and people really hate that. Three important points to summarize. One, Siddaramaiah government's policies and the benefits reaching to ground. Number two, Yedurappa's projection as CM, because people haven't forgotten the corruption of Reddy brothers and Yedurappa. And number three, the campaign style of Mr. Modi, which I think people of Karnataka, they haven't liked it, because there was no Karnataka in the speeches. On the other side, if you see Siddaramaiah ji, he has talked about people of Karnataka. He has given the report card of his 5 years of government, and he has given the projection of future. So the stronghold of BJP, which is the urban area and the women, that also is going towards Congress. I think when the results will come out, Congress will have much more larger number than what is projected on the screens right now.
So what I need to do is take a quick break. We'll have more for our viewers. Good evening and a very warm welcome. You're watching an India Today special broadcast this Sunday evening. I'm Rahul Kamal. What we've done is spend the last 24 hours doing a deep dive into the India Today Access My India exit poll data for Karnataka. And we've pulled out some very, very sharp insights into what was going on in the minds of the voters of Karnataka when they came out to vote on Saturday. What I'll do at the start of this broadcast is give you a visual representation of the new political map of Karnataka. This gives our viewers a sense of which party is picking up seats in which part of the state. So what you're seeing right now are the seats that could go to the Bharatiya Janata Party on Tuesday. So let's take a look at which are the pockets of the state the BJP is picking up its seat from. In Mumbai, Karnataka, which is the northwest part of the state, the BJP is picking up 30 out of the 50 seats. In Hyderabad, Karnataka, its performance not so strong, picking up only 7 of the 40 seats. In Bengaluru, it's picking up 10 of the 26 seats. In central Karnataka, 14 out of 23. In coastal Karnataka, it's picking up 13 out of 19. And in Old Mysore, it's picking up 11 out of 64. Essentially, it's the northern part of the state where the BJP is doing well. It's doing well in coastal Karnataka as well. Now you're seeing the seats where the Congress is doing well. This is the Hyderabad Karnataka region where the Congress is expected to bag 33 out of 40 seats. In Bengaluru, an urban pocket, Congress hasn't done well in urban pockets in many elections, picking up 15 out of 26 seats. Whereas if you look at, for example, Old Mysore, the Congress there picking up 33 out of 64 seats. That's the Congress and where they are picking up their seats from. A lot of it in Old Mysore, a lot of it in Hyderabad, Karnataka, and that's really their main pockets of strength. Also, Bangalore city. Let's now look at the Janata Dal Secular. They're wiped out from the map of most of Karnataka, doing well, mostly in the concentrated Old Mysore region. A few seats being picked up from central Karnataka as well, but that broadly is the JDS's area of domination. Next, you'll see the entire map of Karnataka to give you a sense of where the political parties are picking up their seats from. What you're seeing on your screen right now are the seats where there is a tough contest. Pradeep Gupta of Access My India projects that there are 36 seats where there's a tight fight between the BJP and the Congress generally, where the margin of victory could be less than 2%. Those seats are marked out in red. So if you see, a lot of these seats come from the Bombay Karnataka region. Some of them are in central Karnataka. But those are the areas where there are tough contests happening in the battle in Karnataka. That's the overall map of the state. In one quick visual glance, you get a sense of what the new Karnataka Assembly could look like. Remember, what you're seeing in orange is BJP, blue is the Congress, green is the JDS, and the red are the seats which are the tight fights. I want to go across now to our election studio. Joining us in the election studio are some very sharp political minds. Get you to meet all of them this Sunday evening and also talk to them. What we've also done is put together a list of VIP candidates. Now that's something you'll only get to see on India Today because this poll is conducted in every single seat. In just a moment from now, I'll tell you what the fate of some of the VIP candidates could be on Tuesday. But before I give you the list of VIP candidates, I just want to tell you this, that this is not an exit poll on every VIP seat. Access My India goes to every seat and therefore has a sense of the scenario on the ground on every single seat. However, and I want to build this caveat, this doesn't mean that this particular person will win or lose. It just gives you a sense of whether he's doing very well, is he doing very poorly, or is it a tight fight. That's really all that you get to see. Let me introduce you to our guest. Most important of all is Pradeep Gupta. His neck on the chopping block as always. T.S. Sudhir is with us. We've got R.K. Upadhyay, Manisha Priyam to my left, Sandeep Shastri, Veer Raghav and Harish Pijur. Joining us for political perspective, Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress squaring off against her, Amit Malviya of the BJP. Yashwant Deshmukh is joining us as well. His numbers different from those of Pradeep's. We'll ask him where he's picking up his numbers from and why. Okay, so let's go across now to that big screen and show you the fate of some of the VIP candidates. We're playing this out for the first time. No one's seen it so far. Even our guests don't know. They were asking this question to Pradeep. He said, let's have it out on the big screen and our viewers and our guests can see it together. Coming up on your screen now, the fate of some of the VIP candidates. And remember that important caveat once more. This doesn't mean that this is an exit poll for every seat. It just means it gives you a broad sense of whether that particular leader is expected to sail through or will it be a tight fight. By tight fight, I mean he could still win or lose, but it'll be a tough fight. Okay. So coming up on your screen, VIP candidate number 1. We will start, of course, with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and he's squaring off against GT Devegowda, one time a friend and associate, now fighting in the Chamundeshwari seat in Old Mysore. The India Today Access My India data suggests that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has the thumbs up, which means it's a tough fight, but he is doing well. He's doing well. He's expected to win Chamundeshwari against GT Devegowda. That's seat number 1. Seat number 2 is interesting, startling and of great concern if you're a Congress supporter. This is Badami. Badami in the north of Karnataka. This is where the Chief Minister thought he'd do well. This is a seat which has got lots of kurbas and therefore that's the seat he picked. In Badami, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is facing a tough fight. Remember, we're not saying he'll lose. We're saying this is a very, very tough fight. He's up against BJP leader Shiramulu, who's a tribal leader, associate of the Reddy brothers, a formidable adversary, and Shiramulu has put up a tough fight against Siddaramaiah. That would be of concern to the Congress party. Yedurappa in Shikharipura, he's doing well. He's up against a Congress candidate, and it seems that the BJP's chief ministerial nominee is comfortably poised to win his traditional bastion of Shikharipura. Let me now come to a seat where H.D. Kumaraswamy of the Janata Dal Secular is contesting. This is Ramanagaram. In Ramanagaram, H.D. Kumaraswamy is well placed to win against Iqbal Hussain of the Congress and Leelavati of the BJP. H.D. Kumaraswamy in pole position according to the India Today Access My India exit poll data. Let's now have the next VIP candidate. Coming up on your screen now, Siddaramaiah's son. He is winning. He on the seat of Varuna. This is where the Chief Minister used to contest from. He gave way to his son, and that doctor's son now in politics is winning. Let's now go to Chittapur. Here, Priyank Kharge, who used to be the Information Technology Minister of Karnataka, he is comfortably placed against Valmik Nayak of the BJP. The India Today Access My India data suggests that Priyank Kharge is in pole position. Let's now come, and this is interesting because Somashekara Reddy, one of the brothers of Gali Janardhan Reddy, could do badly in Bellary city. It's a tough fight. Yeah, Pradeep Gupta there very quickly clarifying tough fight. Don't say do badly, which basically means that the margin of error is tight. Remember, Anil Lad has lots of serious cases against him as well. So it's not as if he doesn't have cases against him. This is a tough fight. Okay, so this is a tough fight in Bellary city. Then there is the next seat about Bellary. Here again, a tough fight in Kampli. The Congress seems more popular. You've got T.H. Suresh Babu, who is not doing well. He's the nephew of Shiramulu. And again, another seat where, and this is something which really is being picked up from the India Today Access My India exit poll findings. And I for one, would be delighted if this is true. Regardless of whether the BJP wins or the Congress, if the notorious Reddy brothers do badly, it's a message. It's a message to the BJP and to the Congress that you bring these people in who've looted the state will not appreciate it. How I want to go across to Pradeep Gupta to start with. How convinced are you that what you're picking up from Bellary is correct and that there is no noise? And and the fact that the Reddy brothers may not deliver the kind of electoral yield the BJP would have thought.
No. See, as I informed you in the first place that these are the tough fight. The Reddy brothers are not doing as good as they were expected. That's true. But it's not that they are losing. I'm not saying that. They are not losing, but they are not doing good as BJP must
Are
have.
they losing? Are they winning?
Has
You
it
must say
been
whether
worth
they're
the
losing or winning? Are they
BJP
winning?
They are
getting the
in tough
Reddy
fight.
brothers in, losing out on the anti-corruption plan for the 2019 elections and not even doing well for the reasons that they were
And that
brought in?
22 seats where the campaign has literally been run by the Reddy brothers, if they were hoping to win 15 to 18 of those, if they win less than that, that's a strong message. That's what Access My India is picking up.
I think that
I
is
just
good
want
if
you
that
to,
happens.
I just want you to hang on. Just take a look again, and I'm sorry I'm going back to the 2008 figures. When the BJP was at its peak, there was a sympathy wave in favor of Yediyurappa. The Reddy brothers were the strongest, their muscle power was the strongest. In that election, the difference between Congress and the BJP was only 0.3%. The BJP without the Reddy brothers is around 17% vote share in Hyderabad, Karnataka. With the Reddy brothers, the BJP can take a tucker with the Congress. But in this election, please look at the fact that the Reddy brothers also face anti-incumbency. They also face fatigue factor. They are not as powerful as they were in 2008, and that's a known fact. They don't have the control over the mining industry as they did in 2008.
And they're not popular.
It's not
See,
their
they
writ
become
that
very
wants that.
unpopular.
So obviously they are
in
not
Bellary,
going to be
they
able
become
to
very
take,
unpopular. So naturally, they're not doing well.
Even if they come down to 35...
I want to get in a word from Amit Malviya of the BJP because, forget whether the BJP wins or the Congress. To my mind, that's secondary. If this finding that Pradeep Gupta has got, that the Reddy brothers are fighting for their lives, it's not as if they are dominating the seats where they stood. It will be a tough fight. And I think if the voters of Karnataka deliver that message, that's the signal that we've picked up from this exit poll. That would be a strong message, Amit Malviya, to your party.
Rahul, quickly, I was just looking at the numbers that you put out and I want to make one small comment on it. You said that we are winning just about 10 seats in Bangalore. In 2013, when the BJP was a divided house, we still had 12 seats in Bangalore. And people haven't forgotten the Harris episode or those big potholes where 500 people fell and died, or for that matter, several lakes going up in fire. Now, these are things that have played on the people of Bangalore's mind, and I lived in Bangalore till 2016.
I traveled multiple times to Bangalore during this campaign, Amit Malviya. What people also said is, it's not as if Yediyurappa's Sarkar did much better for Bengaluru. In the last year and a half, 2 years, they've still seen some change in Bengaluru city. It's not as if your previous government was the model of how Bangalore should be run. The garbage problem, R.K. Upadhyay says, started during your rule.
Yediyurappa's government, the outer ring road, the peripheral ring road, all were built under Mr. Yediyurappa's regime. Just because there were discordant voices in our government does not mean that we did not do any work, and people of the city realize. And I'm not making it a poll campaign because the elections are over, but I'm telling you how far off the mark your analysis is. But we will know on 15th, and like I said, these are professional hazards that most pollsters have, so I'm okay to live with it. Now, coming to the Reddy brothers and the associated narrative around it, let me just tell this for your viewers again. I've said this on several other programs before. Janardhan Reddy, the man who is under the mining scam radar and investigation, is not part of the party, let alone being given a ticket. Everybody else who is not famously called as Reddy brothers
if that's
don't
the case,
have
then you can't
any
take the case of
investigation
Harris.
against them.
Harris's
On the
son was the one who was involved in the crime,
Anil
not
Lad,
Harris himself.
Nagendra, Anand Singh, all these people who were indicted and went to jail have been given ticket by the Congress party. Now, people do realize that. People in Karnataka know that for a fact. But if you still think, and your survey shows, that the Reddy brothers are not doing as well as they perhaps should have been doing. We will know that on the 15th. I can't argue against the data that you're putting out.
These
The
were the
final
same
proof of the
people in
pudding
the
is going to be in the
2014
result that
Lok
comes
Sabha
out on the
elections. The
15th.
BJP
But
did
these are
not want
facts
to
that
touch.
can't be ignored.
The BJP did not want to touch these same people in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections.
He cannot have a Lalu Yadav in jail for the same reason and a Yediyurappa and Reddy brothers by his side. You tell me, how are they going to go to 2019? Lalu Yadav will look fairer in a Ranchi and Jharkhand jail, at least, behind bars.
No,
And
certainly,
three of them,
certainly.
very difficult.
I'm sorry,
If you
that's
really
a-
look at,
that's a very-
you know, I'm Amit. I'm only raising this point
you know,
because
Rahul,
you
I
have
have
raised
to
this
come in
point
here.
about you know,
One by
corruption.
one. Harish
So,
Biju.
Rahul,
One by one. Amit, you've spoken. Listen to Harish. I'm coming to you.
Amit, I'm only raising this issue as far as Bengaluru is concerned because there's one key worry in Bengaluru, and that is the fact that Bengaluru urban has seen a pathetic voter turnout. And what does a low voter turnout mean? Last year we had 56.7%. Today we are about 49.2%. It simply means one thing, that the voter is disenchanted possibly. And a disenchanted voter means many things. Possibly it's an issueless election, or possibly the young voters have not been enthused enough to come out and vote, and possibly on the corruption word there is a serious question. Because I think the BJP has done beautifully on all counts in the campaign, except on the point of corruption, because I think the inclusion
No, but you know, I'll
of
tell you
7
why this
a
is
worry.
very, very important. This is something I'm very charged up about for this reason, that if these silly Bellari brothers manage to win a majority of those seats, then the message is it doesn't matter. You know, if the people of Bellari and the districts around them in their wisdom don't give them the kind of majority that the BJP is hoping for on those seats, then it's a message as well, and therefore it's
Just add a
significant.
quick point
Yes.
on that. The tragedy both of the Congress and the BJP is, rather than defending their position, they are attacking the other.
Correct.
If you tell the Congress that you have fielded corrupt people, they would say, no, BJP has also fielded corrupt people. If you ask the BJP, why are you supporting the Reddy brothers, they would say, no, the similar set of people is being supported by the Congress.
Anand
So
Singh was in
both
the
parties
BJP.
are defending
Nagendra.
themselves by
Nagendra.
saying that the other
Overall.
side has got equally black people.
Okay, Priyanka
in jail.
Chaturvedi of the Congress party. The one thing that India Today, Access My India data suggests, which would be disconcerting from the Congress's perspective, is that in Badami, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah facing a very tough fight against Sriramulu. The data suggests the victory margin could be very, very narrow either side. How concerned are you by this?
No, I'm not concerned about that at all, because we're very certain that just like the Reddy brothers are going to face defeat, so will Sri Ramalu. Sri Ramalu, let's not forget, has emerged as the most important corrupt face of Bharatiya Janata Party after Yediyurappa. And like Mr. Yediyurappa said, that he has forgiven the Reddy brothers, Janardhan Reddy, in the interest of the state. I think the state has outrightly is all set to reject them through their vote. And this is something which is a
Priyanka,
strong
like
message
a
for the
good
Bharatiya Janata
spokesperson
Party.
of the
Firstly,
Congress party.
I'm only going by the exit
picking-
polls,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it's
like a
showing.
good spokesperson, she picked on the one data point that suited her, totally ignored my question on the data that didn't suit her.
Rahul, I was in Badami.
That's how the campaign is been. I want to
No,
go across
because
to
that's not a believable point of discussion.
Yeah, what you like in
Someone
the
who
data
took up a
is
challenge
believable,
and
what you
went to
don't like in the
Chamundeshwari,
data
someone
is
who
not
was being
believable.
told that, oh, he's going to find it tough to no, he was going to find it tough to win Chamundeshwari, that's why he's gone to Badami. I find this hard to believe that he's going to lose that either. He's not going to lose any of the two seats. He's going to be emerging victorious from both the seats. Till now, the story was, the narrative that was being built is that, oh, he found Chamundeshwari difficult, that's why he's going to Badami. Now we are being told that Badami could be a tough fight. Both of them could be a tough fight, but I'm sure he'll emerge victorious in both.
Okay, I want to go across to Yashwant Deshmukh, who's joining us. Yashwant, your data very different from that put out by Pradeep. What did you see in the state which he did?
I can talk about what I saw, and I'm sure Pradeep can very well tell what he saw as well. First of all, I don't see much of a difference on the tracker trend, Rahul, and you know that we do a weekly tracker all India. So what we have been reporting is a trending line that 6 months back Congress was well ahead, and over a period of last 6 months particularly, and more so after the campaign of Prime Minister Modi, that gap went down, and it became a neck and neck by the time the polls happened. So all in all, we see that there are 6 regions. Out of these 3 regions in our data, BJP is having quite a substantial, considerable lead in 3 of the regions. 2 regions, it's neck and neck, where Congress and BJP are just about equal in 2 regions, and that is in Mumbai, Karnataka and Hyderabad, Karnataka. And 1 region, that is southern Karnataka, Congress is way ahead and BJP is extremely distant number 3. That's what our data. So it's not that Karnataka has voted like a single state or like a single trend across all the regions. It has actually voted like 6 different states in six different territories. So that is interesting to observe from these elections. Yes, Karnataka is a tough nut in a way from converting votes to seat. I can understand that. 10 years back when BJP had won Karnataka election, even then the Congress vote share was higher than the BJP, simply because in one of the regions, southern region, BJP is virtually non-existent. It's only polls about 20% while the rest of the Karnataka, they poll almost about 40% plus votes. So that makes all the difference. And I believe that these elections are quite critical, and a lot has to do for the BJP if they are in the contention, if they are finding in our numbers coming up from the back to the front. It has to do with Prime Minister Modi's campaign, and full marks to Siddaramaiah, for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, for making it a contest over there. I mean, of course, Pradeep's numbers are showing
Can I just say that from the Congress's perspective, a tough fight and making it a contest is not good enough. In the position that the Congress is in currently, they have to win Karnataka. You know, if the BJP loses Karnataka, it's really not that big a deal nationally speaking, because they're running 20 plus states. If they don't run one, they put up a good fight. They've expanded into areas where they weren't present earlier, and therefore it doesn't matter. Priyanka Chaturvedi, would you accept that Karnataka is literally do or die for your battle, for your party? If Siddaramaiah loses, because we're already seeing, and I want to put that out on our screen right now, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah talking about a Dalit Chief Minister. I don't know why he's doing this. Parmeshwara has been poking him, but now he's just spoken, saying that he's okay if there's a Dalit Chief Minister in the state. Let's listen in to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah bowling this googly on Sunday. He's been insisting all this while that he's Chief Minister. Now with Parmeshwara, who's the KPCC President, poking him, he says, let there be a Dalit Chief Minister if that's what's required. Let's listen. Let's listen. Of course. But let's listen first to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನೇ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ರಾಜಕೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ರಿಯ ರಾಜಕಾರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಹಳ ವರ್ಷಗಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಬದುಕಿರೋವರೆಗೂ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್.
Now there are 2 or 3 ways of looking at this. One, that between last night when he was very confident on India Today and this afternoon, he's figured that it's not looking so rosy, and therefore he's saying that okay, if it's required, let there be a Dalit Chief Minister. The other is, he's so confident that he's being cocky in a way, saying if we don't get the majority, then so be it, let there be a Dalit Chief Minister. Which one of it is it? You know, all these people understand Siddaramaiah's mind. Welcome back. You're watching an India Today special broadcast. This is a deep dive into the India Today Access My India exit poll data for Karnataka. We've got some breaking news coming in. A very startling statement coming from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Remember G. Parmeshwara, who hoped to be Chief Minister last time but lost his own seat and therefore got knocked out, has been poking Siddaramaiah. He's now said that he hopes that there'll be a Dalit Chief Minister, some kind of internal wrangling within the Congress. Now we've seen Siddaramaiah say that let there be a Dalit Chief Minister. He is okay with the idea. Why is Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who 24 hours ago was so confident of on India Today, confident he'll win back power again with a simple majority, suddenly talking about a Dalit Chief Minister? Is this an indication of a possible alliance with the Janata Dal Secular? Listen first to the Chief Minister himself.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನೇ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ರಾಜಕೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ರಿಯ ರಾಜಕಾರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಭಾಳ ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇರ್ತೀನಿ,
ಲೋಕಸಭೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸೆ.
ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಬದುಕಿರೋವರೆಗೂ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್.
He's talking of a Dalit Chief Minister. Veera Raghav, to you first. Why, Veera Raghav, do you believe the Chief Minister is suddenly, one day before the counting actually happens, talking about a Dalit Chief Minister?
No, I think there's a problem with the translation.
If you see the start of his statement, he says, even if Brahma were to come, nobody can change the status of the Congress party, is how he started that statement.
Yeah, okay, but
so I think there is a context to that whole Dalit statement.
You know, I checked with the Chief Minister's office. I believe he was specifically asked a question on whether he is open for a Dalit Chief Minister. Now, we don't know if it was a designed question from somebody who went out and asked him that question, and for which he responded. But having said that, and just to give you a bit of a backgrounder, this is a man who was taught very clearly over the last 3 years to turn around, because in one interview to, I think, the Economic Times, he had mentioned that he had said something about Priyanka Gandhi and it backfired on the Congress. So he was told very clearly, do not make any such comments, say the Congress High Command will determine. I am Chief Minister going into the polls. So given that, I do not know why he says he's open to it.
No, but I can give you a bit of, I can give you a bit of context. We've seen G. Parameshwara say that he hopes that there will be a Dalit Chief Minister, indicating possibly that Mallikarjun Kharge could come in as Chief Minister if they fall short. Priyanka Chaturvedi, there's only one day to go before counting happens on Tuesday, and your Chief Minister is talking about a Dalit Chief Minister. Why do you think he's doing that? Some nervousness in the Congress?
Absolutely not. We are very confident that we are going to be emerging victorious. We are going to get the simple majority that we need to form another 5-year term government under Sri Siddaramaiah ji. I do not understand Kannada, unfortunately, as much as I stayed in Karnataka. But however, I'm very certain that he is very confident of emerging victorious. Now, second, just to add to what one of your panelists was saying, I think Yashwant ji was talking about Narendra Modi's impact. I just hope for Yashwant ji, if speeches could turn into votes, it would have perhaps helped him. Just like Bhashan cannot convert to Rashan, Bhashan cannot convert to Shasan, the same way his speeches cannot convert to
changing my question. I see that again. Once again,
R.K.
Upadhyay, why is Chief Minister Siddaramaiah talking about a Dalit Chief Minister?
I think it's a very significant statement that he has made, though he has mentioned it about 6 months earlier also. But now coming at this juncture, even yesterday he was very categorical that I'm going to be the Chief Minister. Now today, if he's ready to say that, it's a signal to both JDS and his party high command also. He's ready to tell the party high command, look, if we don't get the majority, I'm ready to step back. And he's also giving a signal to JDS.
That he will say only if he's willing to accept that there is a possibility that he won't get the majority.
That looks like he's realizing that possibility is there. He's realizing that possibility is there.
Some kind of a realization. I was told by people close to CM that there has been some kind of an assessment of the numbers, and the numbers don't look as rosy as the Chief Minister was projecting yesterday evening when he spoke to us. Also, the other question, I mean, just to take forward from what R.K. Upadhyay said, what happens if the Chief Minister loses from one of the 2 seats? Remember, Parameshwara lost his seat last time and he could not get into the cabinet.
Right?
He could not get into the cabinet. But if Siddaramaiah loses from either Badami or Chamundeshwari, will he have the moral authority to say that, yes, I am the first claimant for the Chief Minister's post? Those kind of questions will also arise.
The story within story was that there was allegations that Mr. Siddaramaiah sabotaged G. Parameshwara's chance last time. But Sandeep Shastri had a very point. How do you respond to someone when you ask a question? If, let's say, you are the Chief Minister,
he's
and let's say,
seasoned enough to understand those.
When Siddaramaiah was asked by Rahul Kaval and Arun Puri, remember at the end he said, I am the Chief Minister, the election is being fought under my leadership, so I will be Chief Minister.
Amit Malviya, you must be rubbing your hands in delight. The Chief Minister already indicating that there may be a seed of doubt in his mind about whether he's coming back to power or not. Amit Malviya, I'm sure, will be delighted for the first time on the show this evening.
Rahul, when Mr. Siddaramaiah decided to contest from Badami 5 days after he filed his nomination in Chamundeshwari, it was very clear that there was some sort of internal bickering in the Congress party, and he was sure that there were interests within the Congress party who were working to defeat him, and that's why he went to Badami. Now, this particular statement that he's made today about making way for someone else, that's so uncharacteristically is Siddaramaiah. He's not somebody who would do that for anybody for that matter. And remember, he's not an old Congress stock. So obviously, he is looking at his existential position. He perhaps may not just be fighting his last election, but also may be struggling to remain relevant as a leader of any eminence in the Congress party, were he to lose any one of his seats or both. And therefore, this statement is very significant. Also, he put out a tweet in the morning trying to run down the exit polls that have come out. That betrays a sense of nervousness in an incumbent chief minister. I mean, you know, you either know that you're winning or you're losing, and if you have had a long career in public life, you really do not express your emotions as Siddaramaiah is currently doing. There is something clearly playing on his mind. He's
can you at
nervous,
least confirm
and that's for
whether
everybody to see.
Siddaramaiah will be chief minister, or the party, in a bid to shore up support from the JDS, would be willing to discard Siddaramaiah and work around with a Mallikarjun Kharge, for example? Parmeshwara would love nothing better than to be chief minister himself.
So, firstly, Rahul, we're extremely glad as a Congress party that we have enough and more leaders to lead
who
the
think they can be
entire
chief
state
minister.
of Karnataka forward.
You know, different from who can be chief minister, enough and more leaders in your party who think they can be chief minister. Whether they can win their own seat or not, we don't know.
Allow me to answer your question, Rahul. I will answer your question, Rahul.
Go on.
Allow me to answer your question, Rahul.
Go on.
Now the entire defense coming from the defense, or should I call it an attack, coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party is extremely amusing when they talk about leadership being sidelined, etc. That is a signature style of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, whether it is an LK Advani or Prem Kumar Dhumal, as recently as Mr. Dhumal. This is not how the Congress party functions. We take everyone along, and we are very certain the person who led the entire campaign is going to lead the Congress government once it comes to power. So there is no doubt in our minds, there is no question in our mind, there is no ambiguity in our mind. The confusion is being created deliberately by the Bharatiya Janata Party because they believe at the last minute they would try and prove that there is some kind of nervousness. There is no nervousness. We are extremely confident, and this is how it will play out. But the one who took us into an election, who led the entire election, is also going to be endorsed as the chief ministerial candidate when we come to power.
Priyanka, can you say categorically that given that the chief ministerial face in the elections for the Congress was Mr. Siddaramaiah, that he will be the chief minister if the Congress has a clear majority? Can you say it categorically?
Absolutely. He has been leading the campaign from the front. He has been taking this entire election campaign forward. He has been, in all areas possible, he has been leading the entire campaign. So I do not see any reason for any ambiguity. Like I said, once we get a simple majority, MLAs need to endorse the chief ministerial candidate. We are certain the chief ministerial candidate would be an endorsement of what people of Karnataka want from the Congress party.
But the one thing that I think is very clear, and this is straight out of Amit Shah's playbook for elections, and that's the message that he's sending to everyone in the Congress, whether it's a Rahul Gandhi, whether it's any of the other tall leaders. No matter where you go, I will find the toughest candidate who can make your life miserable on that seat, and I'll put him up against you. I think when he puts up a Shriramulu, Harish Bijur, that's the message he's sending out.
Absolutely.
Are you saying Yediyurappa was a tough candidate, Rahul?
Absolutely.
No, I'm talking about Shriramulu and GT Devegowda. GT Devegowda is from the JDS. He didn't put up a strong candidate there. So he will do whatever it takes to pin a Congress
someone
leader
who
down.
has a number of corruption cases against them.
Well,
Harish Bijur.
The Reddy brothers.
If I'm to
India's
read,
most wanted corrupt leaders, Karnataka's most wanted corrupt leaders have found a space in the candidate list of the Bharatiya Janata Party are the best candidates. So then good luck to them, because people of Karnataka are emphatically rejecting such kind of leadership coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Priyanka, if I may interrupt, I would say that, if I'm to read these words to be real words coming out from Mr. Siddaramaiah's mouth this morning, these are significant words. But they're very savvy words, they're very clever words. They are words which portray a picture of a hung house reality, which we've been discussing for a while. A hung house reality could have two kinds of governments. One is a Congress-dominated government headed by someone apart from the captain who led the team into the election, which is Mr. Siddaramaiah, which means one way. And the second could be a BJP dominant government led by a captain who is not a member of the BJP, but possibly of the coalition.
But can I just say something? After what we saw in Goa and Manipur, we can say for a fact that unless the Congress comes very, very close to 113, the chance of there being a BJP-JDS government is much more. It's going to be very difficult, Manisha Priyam. If there are anything less than 100, the BJP-JDS will find a way of forming a government.
Absolutely. Wouldn't agree more with you than this. And at that point, one can say that very clearly, the BJP has approached this election from the point of view that if it is a hung house, we'll form a government.
Yeah.
So their tacit alliances are in place. Their strategy to counter Mr. Siddaramaiah, in whose cart the Congress put all the eggs in that basket. So their strategy to counter Siddaramaiah, their strategy to have Mr. Devgowda on his side, their strategy also of the falling vote bank. If you're not willing to vote for the Congress party, then come and vote the JDS. For example, the Vokaliga anger which Siddaramaiah has riled to that extent and consistently for the last 2 years has done it. I think that strategy would be questioned finally by the Congress. It had a vote bank, remember, which has dumped for Mr. Siddaramaiah. The Kurba dominance, if Badami is also not coming their way, then Kurba dominance strategy, replacing Vokaliga with Kurba, the social coalition will be questioned, the leadership will be questioned. If they don't reach 100+ mark, the Congress knives will be out, let alone a government.
No, I just
the
want to
Congress
add
will have a lot to face.
I just want to add,
Anyway,
see, the Congress has burned the bridges with JDS,
Yeah.
and that is going to hurt them now. If they're going to be less than 100, who are they going to go with with whom? So JDS, they burned the bridges, and it's advantage to BJP. That is where I think BJP and JDS would be able to come together.
Sandeep Shastri.
Here is the statement which the Chief Minister made. Asked in the event of the party securing a majority and wants to appoint a Dalit as the Chief Minister. In the event of securing a majority and the party wishes to appoint a Dalit as the Chief Minister, he said, I'll tell them to do it, I am not against anybody. And then he also says, if Dalit is appointed without taking legislators into confidence, it will adversely impact growing governance owing to dissidence. This is the exact, this is the totality of the
He's
statement.
basically sending a message. I spent some time with the Chief Minister. I asked him this question. We also asked him about Parameshwara poking him. He thinks he's through. That's the Chief Minister. He could be right, he could be wrong, but he thinks he's through. But Sandeep Shastri, you agree with this, T.S. Sudhir, that if the Congress is even slightly short, getting the last 6, 7, 10 seats for them is like getting 20 for the BJP.
Absolutely, and that's because Siddaramaiah has, along with Rahul Gandhi, have followed a policy that let's rile the Janata Dal, which is why they were calling, Rahul Gandhi was made to say in Old Mysore region that it is Janata Dal Sangh Parivar, and that's what upset Devegowda a lot, that here is this young man coming and telling my party that it is a B team of the BJP. So in that sense, Siddaramaiah
can I counter-argue V. Raghav by saying he actually had no choice? The Congress had to send a message that the JDS is the BJP's B team, because if they didn't and the JDS did well, that in any case would have been end game for the Congress.
Look, the Congress is fighting a two-front war. It has to polarize the minority votes and the other votes away from the JDS. It has to take the JDS on. This is a myth that the JDS has been perpetrating, that we can have an understanding with the Congress. And number two, I don't think, for the Congress party, you are looking at an example in Goa and Tripura, which are small states, bipolar. In Karnataka, and I think if the Congress crosses 105, it will be very difficult for the BJP to break anything else from the Congress. The Congress has its inroads within the JDS belt. There is a 2019 parliamentary election coming up. It's easier said than done. The kind of hold
105, right? What if it is 95 or 100?
Yes.
95
No, at 95 or 100,
I agree.
you see, I'm
because
saying
you have
at 95 or 100, I'm saying there
parties.
is still, sir, I believe at 95 or 100, the loser is Siddaramaiah, not the Congress.
Okay.
There is still a possibility of a Congress JDS.
There are two more data sets I want to put out. The first deals with Lingayat voters and the number of seats picked up by different parties in the areas dominated by the Lingayats and by different other communities. So we'll take it one by one and show you which are the areas where the BJP, the Congress and the JDS are picking up their seats from. I'll start with the Congress. Look at the various communities that dominate certain seats. For example, the Lingayats dominate 63 seats, 76 seats. What you're seeing on your screen right now is the social coalition of the Congress. Remember, one of the reasons that the Congress is doing well is that it seems to have been able to build a bigger social coalition. Net, all the communities taken together comprise about 48% of the total voters of Karnataka. In this, the Congress has been able to pick up about 43% of the tribal votes, 48% of the Dalit votes, 80% of the Muslim votes, 61% of the Kurba votes, and 68% of the Christian votes. So strong consolidation of the minorities, the Dalits, and the backwards in favor of the Congress. Let's now look at the BJP's social coalition. All these communities taken together make up about 41% of the total voters of Karnataka. Amongst those, the BJP has been able to pick up 62% of the Lingayat vote, 66% of the Brahmin vote, 49% of the OBC vote, 52% of the upper caste vote, and 57% of the Marathi Kshatriya vote.